Hello, ladies and gentlemen, out there in Radio Land. This is those Muckrakers coming to you live once again through the power of the internet. I'm Pat.
I'm Pete.
I'm Bobby, live from a different location than normal. I'm on vacation.
Yeah, this is a brand new episode of those Muckrakers. And in today's episode, tell them what we're doing, Pete.
Well, legitimately, talking about where we work, I don't give specifics, but at the same time, I'm not really worried that I'm going to get air quotes canceled because I generally don't say things on the podcast that I would not say in front of the people I work with.
Right.
Well, yeah, and it's like my job.
I can't imagine anyone that I work with actually stumbling upon those Muckrakers. They don't strike me as the type that would listen, that would be into what we talk about.
That know what a podcast is.
It's
that would listen to anything within a million miles of liberalism.
For my
this is very much Trump country.
For my job, it's like I remember whenever I was fresh out of college and I said something on Facebook or MySpace or something. God, I'm old. And somebody responded with, well, I wonder if your employer would like to know that you said this. And I went to the HR lady the next day, fully expecting oh my God, they got an email. And I asked her, and she was the HR lady, and she goes, so wait, on your personal account, not the works account, right? And I was like, yeah, on my personal account. She goes, oh, we don't give a shit what you're talking about on there. And I was like, oh, awesome. And that's pretty much been the case ever since, was that don't be a super asshole. Don't threaten to kill the president.
Yeah.
That's sort of
work doesn't really care what you do. So long as you're not body shaming fat people at the gym.
Those are both things we struggled not to do with Trump. Although he would never go to the gym. You had him up until the end.
There was a guy I got in an argument, and it's the only guy I've ever gotten in an argument with.
The gym, what's the gym? Is there KFC there? Can I eat food
online?
In a bucket?
And he was like,
Jim who?
He goes, I bet your place of work would like to know that you disrespected a disabled veteran. Here's the thing, though. Nothing in his stuff said anything about him being a disabled veteran. B, none of my insults were insulting him for being a disabled veteran. C,
I don't think the victim card.
I also don't think my place of work really cares.
Because I just recently had someone that I was just dunking on Facebook, and this boomer comes back with well, I wonder if insert my employer's name here would like to know that you're calling people fastidious idiots. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure that they would love to know that. Please contact my employer. He goes, well, I'm like, good, I encourage you. Yeah. And I went to see the HR lady later, because that was on a Saturday. I went to go see her on a Monday. And she goes, yeah, I got a phone call about you. And I was like, okay. She goes, did you call him a fucking moron? And I was like, yeah, I called him a fucking moron. She goes, let me tell you how this conversation went. Hello, yes, I'd like to make a complaint about how one of your employees is acting on Facebook. And she goes, oh, we really don't care how our employees act on Facebook, but what's your complaint? And he goes, well, He was very disrespectful. He called me a fucking moron. And she goes, well, sir, are you a fucking moron? And he goes, well, I don't think so. She goes, okay, so you're calling to tell me that someone hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I don't very much like your tone. She goes, sir, I don't very much like your tone. I'm human resources. I can hang up on you. There's no one for you to report me to. So
that's
perfect.
You
will watch The Watchmen.
A few times that HR can really help you out, but remember, kids, HR is there to protect the company from you.
I mean, I could probably, if I said something really, there's a few areas, because I'm a public servant, being a teacher, I could probably get in trouble.
Believe my tax dollars are going to this libtards podcast.
You know what I mean? If I feel like if I
directly into it,
if I went on if I went on a racial tirade. You know what I mean? If I started saying really horrible things about there's a few areas that it's just that would be bad. But for the most part, the stuff I say on the podcast is stuff I would also say in my classroom to the students. There's not a second stuff I would oh man, is everybody out of the room? All right, I'm going to say this. I
like the one Family Guy thing where Peter's he backs up further. It's like, okay, so a black guy, and he just pops up. He's like, hey, what'd you say? He's like, damn it.
No, it's that exact thing, except, Pete goes, all right, so we tax the rich. And then like Elon Musk pops up out of nowhere. Hey, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Did you see his haircut? Elon Musk let his let his infant give him a haircut. Jesus Christ.
Somebody posted a picture of the bully.
Oh, I'm thinking of Bezos.
Somebody posted a picture of the bully.
I was thinking of a different billionaire.
The bully from Doug and Elon Musk.
Skeeter.
Yeah.
No, not Skeeter.
Not Skeeter. Roger.
Yeah.
Him and Roger have the same hair now.
Yeah. Except Elon Musk is not a ginger.
My job's been working on a skeleton crew for a while though. Just speaking of HR, like the nurse, HR training person, cashier on Saturdays, and like I think 5 or 6 other jobs is all this one lady's responsibility. They just sort of keep piling jobs on top of her, and they're like, "Yeah, you do all this stuff. It's fine. It's whatever." And our stocking crew was down to like 2 people for a while, and we just hired like several college students, which they're assuming are gonna quit pretty soon, right? Like currently I'm going into week 4 soon. I still don't have my uniform. They didn't order it for me because the last 3 people to have my job quit actually 4 people to have my job quit really quickly. There were 2 people that made it a couple months then quit, and 2 people that quit within a week. Like one person did the video training, did like the first day of walk around the store training, and then he just left and never came back. And I don't understand why. Like once you know what you're doing, the job's so easy. So the multi-month people are bizarre. But this HR lady, she used to also have my job, but then she like quit to have like a permanent day shift
for human resources and put in for a transfer.
Yeah, like she chose HR over this current job. I'm just waiting to find out what's wrong with this job. Like, why is it so cursed? I don't get it.
I think it's very poor management when they're just like, don't get him a uniform. He'll probably quit on us anyway.
Yeah, like that's what I forgot I was saying that. Yeah. I still don't have that. They just gave me an email address because I was there for so long that people got annoyed that I kept having to use their email accounts to pull up my work because they drop price changes at 6 every day, which you get through your emails, but I can't access my email because I did not have one until about 2 days ago. They finally are like, well, I guess we'll give you the number. Brian's been complaining about you having to use his email. I'm like, well, I mean, that's that is your responsibility.
Sounds like a well-run store is what we're saying.
Funny enough, like I did meet like the district manager, I think, like the person who's in charge of making sure that all the stores are running well. He popped in for the first time in 2.5 years, and I was just like one of the first people he ran into, and I was just walking around talking to him.
Just like he's in charge of 3 to 5 barn stores.
Yeah. He was talking about how, you know, what's crazy about us is that all of our stores are unique because most of our employees don't go to any stores but their own. They don't realize that every single one has totally different dimensions to it. One's real long. This one's about a square. Yeah, he was.
We have one that's in an abandoned ICBM silo. It's underground.
Yeah. Oh, I want to work at the one that's in like an abandoned insane asylum. They're still the zapping chair, the electrodes still work. You want to stay away from those.
Did you know that we have a store that's like that Nick Fury thing? It just floats through the clouds. Customers can't even get to it. It's
I definitely want to work there. Yeah. I'm very much of the Randall Graves school of customers. Like every job would be so much better if not for the fucking customers. Always.
I don't know. My job's pretty boring without the students. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I would not mind being a teacher if I had no one in the classroom, because at that point I would just feel bizarre standing up there talking about whatever. I'd probably start talking about Final Fantasy 14, which, I mean, as you can see, I'm on the moon in honor of Endwalker's launch.
During COVID, I had no students, but still had to do all the worst parts of the job, like prepare lessons and like grade, but not actually get to talk to anybody or any. That was.
Did that lessen the experience?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. No, I'd have to say like the worst thing that's ever happened to me at a job was definitely customer related. I was about 19 years old and I worked for the happiest totalitarian kingdom on earth in Central Florida. People will
come right this way, Bobby. You'll start your new job.
Yeah. But anyway, no, so I was working, it was nightside, one of the parks was closing, and I was up on the train platform trying to get people back to the parking lot.
On the train platform, click.
The trains can only hold about 600 people each, so I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with like 1,400 people because the platforms can, of course, hold a lot more than the trains, Train
Right.
arrives, doors open. I'm in like the middle of the train. I have no control over what's going on. Like I can't even open the doors and the gates. That's all controlled up by the cab. And the driver and the head attendant are running those things. It's not automated at all. And
Right,
so
right.
I'm standing there and I'm telling people, you know, please fill in all the way to the end of the car. Please make room for everybody. You know, folks got strollers. If you can, collapse them. You know, just make as much room. It's standing room only. It's end of the night. Please, folks, just keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. And the so the doors and the gates closed and that train went on. And there was this woman who was like very upset, and she was just kind of like staring in my general direction right by one of the gates that I was near. And then the next train came in like not even a minute 30 later, and she kind of waits as more people file in and onto the train behind her. And then I'm like, you know, moving towards, I feel a tap on my shoulder, and then all of a sudden I turn around and there she is, and like she just takes all the hatred and vitriol she has for everyone that works at the theme park and pours it into this finger and just hits me, boom, right on the chest and goes, "You ruined our vacation." And then like a Bond villain, she timed it perfectly. She just started walking backwards onto the train car as like the gates closed and then the doors closed right in front of her. And like she just stared at me as the train left the station. And I'm just sitting here going, the fuck did I do? What the fuck did I have to do? I didn't see you all day. Go fuck yourself. Like,
You ruined my vacation.
what the fuck? Yeah, no, it's just yeah, working there. I mean, you had bad moments, like really bad moments. Yeah, but like, you know, and it's just, God, customers suck so much. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
I've had a lot of bad jobs. It's
You've
honestly
had
like,
a lot of jobs in general. Like, do you know Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks? That guy takes it easy compared to Peter, cumulatively.
but I think honestly the worst I ever had, and there's a few reasons that make it the worst, because like I think if you're just comparing jobs, I've had a lot of equally shittily terrible jobs, right? But I think the worst I had was when I first moved to New York City. And what made
I still like when you were a valet and you spent your spare time digging a tunnel under the building.
Oh yeah, I found some loose bricks when I was a valet at a hotel on the riverfront in Savannah, and I found some loose bricks on the lower end, and I started taking the bricks out because I was like, I wonder what's behind these loose bricks.
He also climbed up into the ceiling of one hotel and I think dropped a few lights out of it.
Oh shit! Yeah, we got all right. Hold on, let me get. So we had a lot of downtime as valets at this hotel. It was a very historic hotel in Savannah. Like many people have died in this hotel. But one day
Peter was nearly one of them.
One day we found out how to get into crawl spaces in the wall and basically explored the hotel through like the spaces between the wall and ceiling.
Yeah.
And I guess that like we knocked something loose because the next day the managers were all freaked out and they were like, "It's happening again." The other manager's like, "What do you mean it's happened again?" And he's like, "They're back." Because they had a guy that legitimately got in. There's
Peter's
a guy
the phantom of the hotel.
There was a guy that legitimately got in the hotel like that and died, and they didn't find him for several weeks.
Oh God,
he's risen.
Yeah,
He's
so
risen.
like I think they were like
zombie or is he Jesus?
You know what I mean? They're like, someone else is loose in the walls, or the poltergeist is back, or whatever. But no, when I first moved to New York, and what makes this job so terrible is I moved to New York. I have done what you're supposed to do. I put in 4 years. I got a college degree. You know what I mean? I'm like ready. So moved to New York with like a backpack and like not much else. I get a job at like Macy's flagship store, the Macy's on 34th Street, like Herald Square, where what was that stupid Santa Claus movie, A Miracle on 34th Street?
Jingle all the way.
That Macy's.
Santa Claus. Have you ever seen Santa's Sleigh starring what's his name, Goldberg?
No, I have not.
That was an amazing movie, actually.
Well, what makes it so bad is this is New York in like 2000 and I don't know, it's like 13 or 14. They're paying me $7 an hour. Which is terrible, but especially in New York City.
New York City.
So you lived on Staten Island with 9 other people in a 2-bedroom apartment.
I actually, we were at an Airbnb up in like Harlem, I think. It was terrible. So I'm working. What makes it so bad is I had a college degree, so I thought the world would be like, you're a white man with a college degree. This way, sir. That did not happen.
That's kind of how I got my current job, but like sometimes it works.
sometimes it works for some people, but they hire me as a
kind of got a job the same way. Oh, what's that guy's name? The one that looks like a stupid puppy on Fox News.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
Because
I got my job the same way he did. Like I just sort of showed up and they're like, "Hey, we have a career for you if you'd like it." I'm like,
well, I mean, he's also the
guess.
heir. He's also the heir to the Swanson food fortune.
Yeah.
I'm not.
So
I'm not
he
like
already
so
had-
rich that I could do or not do this if I chose. That would be
Yeah,
nice.
but that's also how Ben Shapiro got his gig. Basically, his current manager was just a buddy of his, and he was like, "Well, we're thinking about starting this new like conservative stream service or like just YouTube channels and stuff." And like, Ben, you talk really fast. We could definitely get you on and like make you look cool. You could be the cool kids philosopher type deal, and that's how Ben Shapiro got started. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, it's crazy how many people seen the rags to riches story. Like I was
Right.
recently reading, and I didn't know this. I knew he didn't come from nothing, but Kid Rock, like Kid Rock was literally born and raised on a 580-acre estate, and to rebel against mom and dad, he culturally appropriated black music. Excuse me, found his sound and started a recording career on the backs of his inheritance. Like he loves to do this whole, I built myself up from nothing. No, you fucking didn't. Go fuck yourself.
They remind me of, if you remember Dodgeball, was it White Goodman?
I was just a poor upper middle class white kid from the suburbs. No one gave me a chance.
He was like, I
climbed out of that cul-de-sac. I crossed the great white picket fence and I made something of myself, God damn it.
I built this body and this gym with sweat and also a generous donation from my father, Dwight Goodman first or whatever. Like, yeah. So I didn't realize that.
It was so sad when my great aunt Constance plantation war crime died, but she did leave me $50 million.
And a bunch of buckets of gold fillings. Don't know where they came from.
And an emerald mine in South Africa. It was so nice of her.
Yeah, it's crazy. And a bunch of really famous artwork that I think used to belong to like Jewish families in Europe, because we're an art family. So I didn't know any of that when I came to New York. I was like, oh yeah, rags to riches. You just got to want it, right?
God, so you were an idiot back then as well.
Yeah. Nothing has changed. So I'm working at Macy's and it's terrible because I have a college degree. And so they were like, you have a college degree? We're going to make you full-time garbage man. So I'm walking around the ladies, and this is where I get very Al Bundy with it. I'm working in the ladies' shoe department, but I'm not working with shoes.
Driving your Dodge home every day, pushing it down the interstate.
I drive a Dodge Stratus.
I'm just pushing a trash can around because every box of women's shoes comes with its own giant pile of trash. And all the women at Macy's like to try on about 30 different pairs of shoes before buying none of them and leaving. So I'm sweeping up trash. I'm like, man, I have a college degree. You know what? I'm going to make it. I'm going to work. And they're like, do you want to work overnight? And I go, yeah, I'm going to be a hard worker. I started working overnights. At one point, I got lost in the building because it's huge. And when they turn the lights out, it gets real confusing. I kicked a rat at one point because I came around the corner and was like, ah! Kicked a rat across the men's underwear department.
I hope it landed a pair of underwear later to be found by a man who goes to slide them on, and the rat startles awake and just starts biting.
But they broke me when I'm pushing the trash can around one day, and I'm like, I'm gonna make it. I got a college degree, and somebody's like, hey, trash can, and from like 20 feet away they go and spit at me because I'm pushing a trash can, and I was just like, no, I'm going to lunch.
And then he never came back from lunch.
If that wasn't bad enough, I come back from lunch and one of the other cleaning ladies on that floor is like frantically like putting newspaper down and like wiping the floor. And I'm like, man, what happened? And apparently we kicked a homeless man out and he came back in and his revenge was to shit all over our floor.
Nice.
And I was like, technically,
nice.
That's my job to help, but it would benefit me nothing at all to help. So I was like, well, guess I'm going back to lunch. Just like I just did a full about face and walked back
just
out.
like the Grandpa Simpson meme.
because I really did think about it. I go, all right, if I'm like a real team player and I go get like cleaning supplies and I clean up human shit off the floor of Macy's, what do I get for that besides hepatitis?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing. So I just
No, we had one time at Magical World. We had so like on the train there were 2 cars that were specifically for people with mobility devices, like, and we called them ECVs, electronic courtesy vehicles. All right. And they would the driver was responsible with the alerting the station that, hey, I have somebody who needs assistance getting out of the train, because the train was not level with the platform. There was about 4 or 5 inches there. So like someone with a wheelchair who was fairly athletic could get down and up and onto the train, but we always had to bring a ramp and ask, you know, do you need assistance getting on the train? But people in like mobility scooters, the little electric ones, yeah, they can't get out of that anyway. So the driver signals me this. It's like a spinning sign. It means special door. That's what we call it over the radio. You know, we can't say, you know, there's a disabled cunt in car 5 black. You know, you have to say car 5 black, special door, kingdom, and that then the appropriate station knows which train to look out for and which car to wait beside. So I was working at the station center platform waiting for this train to get there, and as it gets there, like the other people get off the train and I put the ramp down, and inside the car is, I mean, literally working there broke my heart on multiple occasions, because there are some people where they are just unfortunate, you know, and it's this woman, she was morbidly obese to the point of being immobile. And she was, whenever the train doors opened, they were 4.5 feet wide. As she was backing her scooter down the ramp, her hips hit both doors simultaneously on the way out. And as she's getting down to it's a steel ramp, and the train is made of steel, aluminum, and plexiglass. And as she's getting down, she's almost to the bottom of the ramp. I go, almost there. And because she can't turn her head far enough to see behind her, I go, you're almost there. Keep coming back, ma'am. Keep coming back. And she goes, I'm there. And then she jackknifes the single tire on the front that she's steering with, falls over. Her left leg pins the scooter to her right leg, pinning the ramp to the floor of the station and the train to the station.
Oh.
Now, if you get hurt at a theme park, odds on, staff cannot touch you. It is a liability once they touch you.
Right.
I have to call an ambulance. She was not strong enough to lift her own self, let alone herself and the scooter.
You could also hurt her by trying to move her too.
Exactly. So I, got on the radio and I was like, Central Kingdom, Alpha Unit, Alpha Unit, Alpha Unit. And they were like, okay, all channels, Alpha Unit Kingdom, heard, Kingdom Central. And I was like, Kingdom by, and they were like, state the nature. And I was like, I need to call you on the phone for this.
Yeah.
And like I explained, and it was the bad part was that I was having to explain this over the phone in front of this woman who is now trapped on the ground, and another train rolls in on the opposite side and is exiting onto that platform. Like, whenever I say just unfortunate, and it's just those moments that just really fucking tug at your heartstrings. That was 15 years ago. That lady, if she didn't, start losing weight or getting help, she's dead. She's definitely dead by now. It's just, I don't know. It's something I think of all the time. We're very shitty to people with mental health issues. And I really do believe that being morbidly obese, that is a mental health issue.
Yeah, of course.
People, because we're so fucking machismo in this country about personal success. And if you're not a success, it's a personal issue. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. It's
something I've been doing lately. Just speaking of,
meritocracy is a fucking myth too. Sorry,
what's the myth?
Meritocracy.
Well, when I was trying to quit smoking, I remember people would always be like, "Well, you see, the thing you got to do is just quit. Don't do it anymore." And I was like, "Oh, you mean the thing that's both physically and psychologically?" Yeah. The thing that's physically and psychologically addicting, all I have to do is not do that
Yeah,
anymore.
and it's like I had to explain it. I had to explain it to
I used
someone I know
to
who's a paramedic.
I used
who
to
was, like,
compare it to people
explaining.
whenever they say, "Why don't you stop smoking?" I'm like, "Sure, if you stop going to the bathroom." I think
Yeah,
a
stop.
comedian said that too, but
Stop,
yeah.
stop,
No.
stop
Well,
breathing.
it's I was explaining to someone who's a friend of mine who I have had to constantly remind. Poor people are not your enemy. To anyone listening, I don't even know if we're live. We're not live.
No, I
But
didn't go
to
live on
anyone
this one.
listening, other people who are struggling are not your enemy.
Right.
They're just not. Like the why is someone collecting food stamps while your insulin is $450? The real question here is why the fuck
Why
is your
is your
insulin
food stamps?
$450?
Well, the thing
Why does
is, you
that
just got to
person have to
stop
be on
having
food stamps? But
diabetes.
like trying to
Stop turning it.
trying to
Stop attacking
explain
other
morbid
people for being
obesity.
unfortunate. Attack the fucking rich for fucking you over like this.
Exactly,
Like your
exactly.
insulin's
But
that much
trying,
because it's making someone a shitload of money to charge you that much.
I did,
You're either going to
however,
pay it or die.
so like I have this friend. He's a paramedic, and I've had like we had this conversation, and he was like, I was like, how's work today? And he goes, oh man, we had a big one, easily 800 pounds. The firefighters had to cut a wall out. Started having chest pains, so we had to get him out of there. But like it took 20 of us to lift him, and it was like we had to use all the special equipment. He goes, man, like just stop eating. And I'm like, dude, imagine telling an alcoholic that alcohol is going to kill you. You have to stop drinking alcohol. Okay, that's what we tell alcoholics. But imagine if then you had to turn around and say, but you have to have 3 drinks at 4 different intervals during the day, or you'll also die.
right.
Like that's what food addiction and obsession is like.
Yeah.
These people, they have to eat. You have to eat in order to live. But overeating is a really easy thing to fall into, and a lot of people don't understand. It's a mental, it's a fucking mental problem.
There's
Like,
a game. There's a game that me and the fiance play. I think with the show Intervention. It's called Who Touched You. You know what I mean? Like who molested you? And then with Hoarders, I think it's what traumatic way did someone close to you die? There's always like if you watch those shows, there's a trigger when it's like, oh, this person hoards stuff. No, they saw their mother die horribly of something, and now they can't psychologically
Speaking of
cope.
death, and speaking of seeing people that if they don't get better, they probably haven't made it. Something I've been doing lately that's actually helped me feel a lot better is I'll think about people I knew as a kid that was already really old back then. And I'm like, I wonder how they're doing now. Like, let me think. Aunt May from the Spider-Man movies, right? Like that was from forever ago. And so I looked it up. It's like, is she still alive? Because if she was still alive, that would make me feel like, I still have tons of time left on this world, because she was old when I was a teenager still, right?
Yeah.
She's still alive. She's in her 90s, but she still has work. That was another thing. The boss from Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation. Like that was an old man when I was really young. He's still alive. He still has work. This year he's been in new things.
I thought you meant like I thought
that was the thing. Somebody on Star Trek shit posting Facebook group, which I love. If you guys are not on it, you need to join. But somebody posted, they were like, wow, Bill Shatner went to space. And I was like, I'm really sure that Kate Mulgrew and Patrick Stewart would also love to go to space. However, they're not dicks and they're still getting work.
Yeah.
Shatner's an asshole.
I thought Wilder legitimately meant like the comic book character, and like I like to look up comic book characters, and if they're still alive, I'm like, you realize they're fictional, right? So like,
it's Wilder. I hate to let you know this, but Aunt May has died like 12 or 13 times.
No,
I'm just like, if only Batman is still alive.
Speaking of both fiction and incomprehensible sorrow, earlier in the podcast I got some extremely bad news that I had been in this queue already for 2 goddamn hours, and it said position in queue 1. There was one person ahead of me. The game crashed, and I got right back into it, and I'm position 5.8k in queue.
Nice.
And I'm like, motherfuckers. It took me 2 hours to get from 3,000 to first. It's going to be at least like 4 fucking hours. I'm going to have to go to sleep by the time this is done. And this is after coming off a 10 goddamn hour shift. Like, Squeenix, get your shit together. Come on.
This is not even like a lobby. This is just to download the game, right?
Oh, this is the lobby to log in.
Oh, okay.
This is why I
Yeah.
don't play games with other people on multiplayer, because I can just turn my game on and off whenever I want.
We actually have a great Am I the Asshole about a guy whose girlfriend decided to play 14 on its launch day. This latest expansion in Walker just came out on Friday. It went live at 4 a.m. Eastern time. It makes sense that people like her would just like get up and get on it, right? Tons of people did it.
So let's do the Am I the Wesley?
Yes,
because
I
there's
don't know about that name. I like Dear Wesley because it's like
Dear
they're
Wesley.
writing to him, but Am I the Wesley makes me think that we're calling Wesley the asshole.
Oh, I am. That's what's funny.
Oh,
about
okay.
it.
Wesley, Dear Wesley, are you the Wesley?
That's what Wesley. The asshole.
How dare you on yours?
All right. So, dear Wesley, am I an asshole for yelling at my obsessed wife? Even the
Obsessed
title,
wife.
even the title,
Yeah.
I don't like this guy. All right. Hello there. I'm
She
currently
needs to be his obsessed ex-wife. Like she could do way better than this guy. Holy shit.
I'm currently typing this from my car after my wife has told me she doesn't want me near her right now. I hope this thread will
Oh, F in chat. Everybody press F in chat. Jesus Christ.
F's in chat.
I hope this thread will be a
There's-
wake up call to her. So just reading this,
I read most of the responses to it. I think it's going to be a wake-up call to him.
this guy gets
Proceed.
roasted like chestnuts at Christmas. It's crazy.
Literally not one person took his side. Not one.
Usually there's
Oh.
one douchey guy on Reddit that jumps in at the defense of
Oh, there's
another-
only one now? I should get back on Reddit.
Well, I mean, in every thread, you know what I mean? It could be like Pol Pot being like, hey, am I the asshole for killing over 1% of my entire country in a horrific way? And some other guy's like, listen, man, he's
It's
just
1%. It's like the COVID thing. It's only
Yeah.
2%.
This guy doesn't even have that. He doesn't even have the one guy going, well, you see, it's just the way men are. So my wife, female 33, is a big nerd, which I normally appreciate, but she's taken things way too far today.
This is a guy who has definitely started a conversation with his buds with the phrase, my wife,
Mhm.
this year.
Bye-bye.
Like this
Mhm.
year. He's
Yep.
done that this year. Like
He's
he's
still
that
like-
much of a fucking loser.
You know what I mean? He's still
Come
doing
on, high
Anchor.
five.
He's still doing Anchorman quotes, and while I love Anchorman as a classic, this guy's still doing it like it's fresh.
Yeah. It's kind of like I love Rick and Morty, but oh my god, I refuse to call myself a fan. Holy shit.
Yeah, this guy
I got a lot
definitely.
of miles out of that Szechuan sauce thing. Like whenever all the fucking people were freaking out about it, and I just
That was
dude,
great.
one of the first things I ever posted on Facebook that went like quasi viral, like I got like 1,500 people to share it, was all y'all showing up demanding a sauce from McDonald's, a sauce that you didn't even remember existed until a cartoon asshole told you to remember it and that it was amazing. You bunch of Jerry's, go fuck yourselves. Like,
Check it out. If I can make it appear. Can you see that?
oh,
actually have
Wilder,
some?
you fucking
Jesus.
Jerry.
Yeah, that's a problem with the fandom. Most people think they're Rick, and most of those people are really Jerry's.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
but it's also, you don't want to be Rick.
no,
Like it's
he's
exactly
miserable.
like with the Joker. It's
Yeah.
if what you got from their characters is that you should be like them, you've missed the entire fucking point.
It's like,
Like-
the cops that wear the Punisher
I could-
Punisher gear, and you're like, man, you really don't understand the character, do you?
I was
It's like the
with the
person-
Joker in the movie up to a point, and then he lost me. And he
But
lost
you
me when
don't-
he chased the guy out of the subway car. After
you
he shot the
never-
first two.
But you never
Okay,
wanted to.
fine. He was scared for his life. Third guy he ran him down and shot him on the stairs.
But you
That's-
never
was like,
wanted to be him. Is the point?
Yeah, nah.
So
No, he lived a terrible life. I wouldn't want to do that. Also,
So-
I'm blurry now.
my wife is a nerd, which I normally appreciate, but she's taking things way too far today. She took the day off of work so she could be up at 4 a.m. to play her online game at lunch. I didn't wake up until about an hour ago, 10:30, and she was still playing. I mentioned
Again,
that I
this asshole is able. He lives such a fortunate life that he can wake up at 10:30. Like,
I mentioned that I was hungry, hoping we could make breakfast together.
I wonder
which
how
we-
much of that he would actually be helping with,
Oh,
and
he-
how much of it
yeah,
it would be like,
exactly.
I want the eggs with my bacon. See, I
I'll-
helped. I let you know what I wanted to eat.
I'll read you his responses. I'll give you a hint. It's not much.
Uh,
So instead, she said I should, quote, order us something from DoorDash because she's in the middle of a dungeon and might be a while.
Mhm.
I didn't really want to get takeout because we'd already discussed ordering pizza tonight for dinner, and that's a lot of takeout food in one day.
So it seems like they've already discussed her taking a whole day to play a video game. Like that seems like that's already been a conversation to which he was present but not actually present.
This lady
Yeah.
put in paperwork at her job to have
Mhm.
that day off
Twice.
Because
the game got delayed by 2 weeks.
like
So she had to push
wow.
it back.
So like paperwork was done, approved through HR, so she would be at home. That's how much planning has gone into this. And this guy's like, I want breakfast. It gets better though.
Mhm.
I calmly explained this, and she got pissed off and shrieked at me that she wanted one weekend to focus on her video game. So she shrieked at me. I can tell exactly what it's like. If you've ever played multiplayer with like an old baby boomer in the house, and they're just like blah 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 blah. Why can't you just pause it? Blah 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 blah. And you're like, I can't fucking pause multiplayer, you asshole. It's happening in real time.
It's happening in real time, and there's other real
before
people that would be mad at me if I just stopped.
I guarantee you, if before he posted this, he seriously considered pulling the breaker. Like,
Right.
pay attention to me, wife. Like, yeah, he definitely considered pulling the breaker.
Like I love video games. I'm not into like the big MMORPG stuff, but I also understand playing games that take place in real time. It's not Super Mario Brothers. You can't be like, click, click, what's up? Like, Jesus.
Dude.
And it's so annoying when you're like, I have to
plug my camera back in to see if I can fix up this.
It's so annoying when you're trying to focus and someone's like, hey.
And Wilder's trying to focus.
Truth.
So fucking so she shrieked at me and basically said she just wanted one weekend to focus on her video game. I said it's unfair to our family for her to isolate all weekend, and she got even more mad, telling me
their family's just the two of them and a cat.
Yeah, she told me that I have two hands and I can feed the goddamn cat.
A cat that also doesn't like him.
Right?
Most likely.
So,
because he doesn't feed the cat, so it probably doesn't like him.
I was in tears at this point, and I did raise my voice and said I was worried that she's obsessed with this game and maybe she needs professional help.
Poor baby.
She threw her car keys at me and said I need to get out of her face, and that she works all the time and doesn't ask for much, and I need to leave her be and get out of her face for a few hours.
Poor baby.
I'm truly concerned she has become obsessed with this online game, and I'm hoping maybe reading this thread will wake her up. But I might have been the asshole too. Edit for additional info.
He might have been.
For the last few weeks, she's been hyping herself up for this. When the game got delayed, she quote, and in all caps, he says, moved her vacation time rather than just keep her previous day off and spend it with me. She's been absolutely freaking out about this game, and I don't understand it. It scares me.
It sounds like he's home all the time and just gets bored because she's gone working all the time. And he's like, I thought that we could spend some time together.
Exactly.
And also, like, he is aware that she has been hyped for this game for at least a few weeks. He's known that. I guarantee you that if she's a 14 player, she's been hyped about this for fucking months, but she's just been really talking about it the last few weeks. Like, this is, she's about to burst. She really wants to hop onto it.
Yeah, and obviously, like, her husband doesn't give a shit about her hobby, so she hasn't really been talking to him about it because she obviously already knows that he doesn't give a shit about her hobby. Like, pay attention to me.
It gets even.
Am I being an asshole? Yes.
It gets even better. Somebody in the comments goes, "Why couldn't you have just made her breakfast and a snack while she gamed? She would have done that for you." And he goes, and I'm only going to use this voice because to me this is the voice of weaponized incompetence. Deborah does a lot of the final cooking when we make breakfast.
Cooking.
I prep stuff like pancake batter and eggs, but she actually puts it on the stove because she's a much better cook than I am.
I'm miming beating an egg in a pot. So that's
I'm just like,
you do this and then you do this and then it cooks. Like, I don't understand how people can do one but not I don't understand.
I don't know, but there's just a part of me that is just really hoping that this has opened this woman's eyes, and after her ecstatic weekend playing this game, she just fucking leaves him.
Yeah.
Like, go live in your car. It's gonna be me and my video games and my days off. Go fuck yourself.
I mix the eggs, but
the
she's
cat,
a better.
That is mine. Yeah.
She's a better cook than me, dude. It's eggs. You literally apply heat and then take the like. This is what we're talking about. Like,
There's
if you
so
don't know
many
what,
different ways to make eggs.
if you don't know what weaponizing competence is, because I see this a lot, where a woman will have a husband and his plan
With
is
high school kids.
his plan is, the husband's plan is, I'm going to act as if I'm so fucking stupid I won't ever have to wipe my own ass ever again. You know, like, oh, I can't do the laundry. The wife's just better than that. What do you mean? You put it in a machine and add soap. That's it. Like, how do you not make eggs? You put them in a pan, you put them in a pan and add soap. That's it.
Well, I mean, and it's also
eggs.
It's also, does this guy not have friends? Like, can you not just go and hang out?
Like, is there no one he can turn? That's right. The first thing he did wasn't call a friend. It was go to the internet. I think that he has no friends, lives alone, has no job, and not lives alone. He has no. He lives at home all the time alone.
He's just doing this for karma.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
someone asked.
He doesn't turn to a friend. He turns to the internet. So clearly, he has no friends. He has nothing. He just leeches off this poor lady.
Some asked him about sports, and he goes, "I don't know anyone who wants to play football for over 20 hours straight." I'm like, have you never
over 20?
Have you never seen people during the football season or during like?
Oh, I get it. He's saying, "Oh, I can't play football for that long." Like, she's playing this game. First of all, she'd only been playing it since 4, so by 10, she'd been on it for 6.5 hours.
Have you never seen anybody during March Madness?
Also, that's apples to oranges. Not everything takes the same amount of time.
Right.
For fuck's sake.
It's like, oh, I really love indulging in, I don't know, a day at the beach. And they're like, well, I love indulging in breakfast, but I ain't never eaten breakfast for 10 hours straight.
He also says, we have a cat who she normally feeds and cares for. I'm not sure exactly how to feed the cat, and I'm worried I'll do it wrong. So
how do you do it wrong? I picture him like throwing the food at the cat. Come on, absorb it. Whack. Unless
you're shoving the food up the cat's ass, you can't really feed a cat wrong. You know what I mean? Like me and Walda talked about this earlier. We go, literally open the food and just leave it somewhere in the house. The cat will find it.
Yeah. Like, if the mechanics of pouring into a bowl it's too much, just leave the bag open. The cat will sort it.
Yeah, just leave the bag. The cat will get what he wants.
Exactly.
Open the food bag and leave the toilet seat up. The cat will regulate himself. Like, that's literally like all you have to do. The cat's fine. Cat's like, I'll drink out of the toilet. I'll eat out of this bag of food. I'll leave turds in your house. I don't care.
Yep. It'll be the husband's job to put little napkins over the turds because he doesn't know how to deal with them.
This guy is too stupid to function.
He must have a dick that is made of solid gold and smells of white truffles, because like, if I was this lady, I would have left this guy. Like, this, like, because this cannot be, this is the tip of the iceberg.
Oh yeah.
This was his breaking point. I want to know what her breaking point is.
Like, I guarantee
fucking saint.
This guy doesn't do
soon. Like, imagine if she gets a kid with this guy, then she really is stuck. It'll be so much harder to break away then.
This guy doesn't, I guarantee he doesn't do laundry. I wonder if he brushes his own teeth. He's like, honey, I don't know how to, what do you even do with the toothpaste? Am I doing it right?
You do it so much better than I do.
I'm putting the toothpaste up the cat's ass. Is this how I brush my teeth? Like,
do I squeeze it out the cat's ass and somewhere else? I don't know.
I'm gonna say
the eggs. I'm gonna make eggs now.
Poop. Wesley has multiple cats, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't feed them. They just
they're still doing fine.
Yeah, they're just feral predators that live around his house, and they eat the weak and the slow. Like,
Rip Wesley's grandma, never forget.
Yeah,
never forget.
I don't know why, Bobby, you sneezed and it made me blurry.
Oh,
that's so weird.
I'm picturing all the feral cats at Wesley's place eating his grandma now.
Yeah, that's why Wesley's grandma's no more. She was too slow.
Grandma.
Yeah,
the dogs got her.
What would Wesley's advice to this guy be?
Oh my God. It'd probably be like, breakfast focused, right? Like, God, I don't know. I'm my brain's scrambled today. Like the eggs this guy doesn't know how to make.
Well, see, okay, this is my best Wesley voice. What you should do is you should go and knock on your neighbor's door and get your neighbor to make you breakfast. And get them to come over and wipe your ass and teach you how to make toothpaste. And then you can just tell your wife, I'm leaving you for the neighbor couple, and the neighbor will be there like, yeah, that's a great idea. You should do that.
Yeah, no, that's legitimate.
That's a good Wesley advice.
What are neighbors for?
Just knock on the neighbor. Hey neighbor, I want some eggs, but I don't know how to make them. Also, I've been shoving toothpaste up the cat's ass and he doesn't like it. What do I do?
Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole? Or is the cat's asshole the asshole? Clearly it's the asshole here.
I gotta tell you, my real fear with these because there's a lot of these guys that like they get married and they're like, what a great scam. I don't ever have to do anything ever again.
Well, some of them get away with it.
Yeah. Well, my fear is eventually women are going to stop putting up with that shit. And then eventually my fiance is going to find out that I'm not amazing. I'm just the basic package because I can wipe my own. Yeah. Because I can wipe my own ass. And she's going to find a guy that can wipe his own ass and do other stuff.
I just realized I sort of have the opposite problem with this guy. Like my last girlfriend kept trying to cook for me and I wanted her to stop because I didn't like her food. So I was just like, I've got it. It's fine. Like, I'm good. I'm good. Really. I'll cook for you if you'd like. If I don't like your cooking. Okay.
Walla's going to be on here after chloroforming his partner so she stops trying to cook for him. Just go back to bed. I got it. I don't like it when you touch the utensils. You leave them in weird places. And the other day I found some food on a cup and I had to throw all the cups away.
It's hey, Wilda, here's breakfast in bed. Oh, no, you shouldn't have. Really? No, seriously, stop.
As he throws it in the trash. Yeah, that's fine. No, thank you so much.
Wonderful. Oh, I just figured out how to feed the cat. Hold on. There you go.
Yeah. So weaponizing competence. I don't understand it. I also enjoy being an independent human. I don't get that.
Yeah, like I've been fiercely independent for a very long time now. If I had to like backtrack on that, I don't think I would.
Do you
say it would have to be like incredible service, but I don't think even then I would be too uneasy about it.
Do you think
for me, like, I don't know. I've been single for a long time and I'm just kind of like, I like renting and I like living autonomously. Like if a pipe breaks, I don't have to fix it. Right. I can just call the landlord, like let someone else.
See,
if the pipe breaks, I don't have to fix it. I could just let it leak forever.
I'm pretty sure I have whatever the like poor, like 18th century pioneers had, where like I'm like, don't want to rent, want to get my own spread out on the plains, want to make my living from the dirt. You know, like I have a weird desire to like go west and build an empire from nothing. I hate renting. Here's the question though. Do you think this weaponizing competence is specifically a hetero male thing? Because
no.
Gold diggers, right?
I know lesbians and gay men who have gone through this exact same thing.
Because my next question was, do you think there's ever been like two guys or two gals that got together and they just weaponize incompetence each other?
You said guy or hetero thing. Okay, I've heard it's just a guy thing. It's like, I could see girls in a relationship, but okay, yeah.
Like, do you ever think that just like two guys have gotten together and they're both like, I don't ever have to wipe my own ass again? But then like they're both playing
sexual orientation comes with like its own set of personality traits.
No, I thought it was. I wondered if it was a socialization thing.
I think this is more a socioeconomic thing. Like whenever you first started reading this, I was like, yeah, this guy was raised middle class. Like, you know, it's mom stayed at home and took care of everything. And you know,
he went seamlessly from that to current girlfriend.
Wife,
I guess.
Well, that's his wife. It's not his girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's rough for her, man. The divorce is going to be nasty.
I don't know. So long as she gets to keep the cat, I mean, I'm rooting for her. There are some couples, whenever you meet them the first time, like you meet both of them, and you're just on team divorce from day one. You know,
I'm gonna say that I think honestly, if she just stops cooking, he'll die within 42 days without food. You'll die.
Oh, it takes like 90.
I mean, that depends on how good he is at accessing clean water, because you'll only last like 2 weeks without water. So if she can just figure out how to shut that
plus
an infected rash from not wiping his ass, like I mean, he could be gone within a week and a half. So
you can get rid of him within a couple of days. Just shut the water off to the house, Don't tell him how to go out and get water, and eventually he'll just be like, "Am I the asshole for laying here slowly dying while my wife refuses to bring me food and water?"
I'm pretty
What-
sure I
what
got a
she should have
staph
done-
infection from my leaky ass.
What-
She won't wipe it for me. I don't know what to do.
What she should have done is she should have gotten an Airbnb with a with a good internet connection and just gone there and told him, I'm gone for the weekend. Have fun starving.
There was a
Yeah.
lady that did that. I wish I'd saved it in one of these Dear Wesley's. She actually went to a hotel and played video games for a week and left him with the 2 kids. And after day 2, he's blowing up her phone, going like, "I don't know how to feed the kids or the cat. I think I'm just gonna let them eat each other. Please help me."
We did a Am I the Asshole once about a guy that like gave the kids away, right? Because the cup or someone let it was like a roommate who had kids and she just like left and said, "Take care of the kids." And he's like, "I said I would never do that." So he just called protective services on him.
Yeah, for abandoned kids. Yeah, which is what you do.
But that's not really game related. I'm trying to remember if
No.
we've ever done one of those.
But no, it's
before.
just about weaponizing competence and just like be a partner to your partner. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Like fucking if someone's been hyped about something for weeks and weeks and weeks and they've been telling you over and over again, I'm going to be doing this for this much time. They've planned that out. Don't be like, well, you know what? I just suddenly had an idea. Maybe you should make me eggs.
yeah.
Just like,
let
I
people-
think 2 takeout a day is too many. Just fucking suck it up. It's fine, right?
Yeah, just let people enjoy stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Let the things that your partner likes are not stupid or silly. They're important to your
Right.
partner.
You guys just switched sides on my screen, but now
Oh.
Peter's in focus again.
Oh yeah, because I clicked that. I figured out how to refocus my camera because
Ah.
I swear to God, it unfocused when you sneezed. It was beautiful.
I
I saw that. I remember.
sneezed and I fogged up your camera.
Your sneeze is so powerful. I have boogers on my screen.
Oh man, yeah.
All right. Anything anybody wants to plug?
Yeah, I'm only 3900th in queue, so we can still go for like another 2 hours.
Well, I mean, I still got. I still have. I still have family obligations. I have to go feed a cat.
It'll feed
I'm
itself. It's
currently
fine.
house sitting at an undisclosed location somewhere
mo-
in the deep south.
Pardon me.
I'm on the moon, which I could be in the game if it would ever fucking work.
I will plug this. If you're not sure, or if you've never done this before, go get yourself tested for sleep apnea, because that's what I'm doing right now, and it's been super fun. Now I have to sleep with a retainer and a chin strap.
He did an experiment where he hooked himself up to a thing that showed him how much he breathed while he was sleeping, and turns out he doesn't.
Yeah, it turns
So-
out when I go to sleep, I just pull a Dracula and I basically die until it's time to get up again, which is really bad for you.
Uh-huh.
Well, no. That's just called being a millennial.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I just lay
I
down and
haven't
my
even done
breathing
this
just
week.
stops.
New philosophy tube video if you guys want to check it out. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Mommy Dr. Philosophy is teaching us some more about philosophy. She had a really funny line about oh god, who was it? Immanuel Kant.
Immanuel Kant?
I hate him so much.
No.
Emmanuel Cunt.
She
K.
Kant and Immanuel
Kant.
Immanuel Kant. And it was he wrote a lot of things like morality and justice, as well as Harry Potter and the morality of justice. Like
That was the first class I failed in college, and I'll never forget it or forgive him.
well, Kant
Really?
if we can talk about Kant for just a second, Kant is
Go
a cunt.
for it.
And I'm glad
I can't even with that guy.
Abby Thorne brings this up in her video. That's Abby Thorne is philosophy tube. Is that like he was sort of like one of those people who vacations at Black Lives Matter protests. You know, like the real crusty gutter punk kids who were like, yeah, no, Black Lives Matter, but really they're like trust fund kids.
Yeah.
Like he did that, but for the French Revolution. Like
Cool.
he was very
all rolling heads matter.
He was very pro-republic, anti-monarchy, anti-constitutional monarchy, pro-republic. But whenever it came down to like brass tacks of like the nitty-gritty of getting it done, he's like, well, I can't believe that you're not going to have a king anymore. And everyone's like, oh, Emmanuel, you ignorant slut. No, but
well, I mean, his big breakthrough or critique of pure reason, he's like, I have solved it all. And everyone read it and they go, what the fuck is this? It's like the fucking psycho babblings of a monkey. And then he goes, fine. So he wrote another book to explain that book. And then the other book, in the beginning of it, he tells you how stupid you are for not just reading A Critique of Pure Reason. And I've never been burned by a guy that died hundreds of years before I was born, but fuck that guy.
So the guy writes a book and you buy it. And the first thing he does is like, you're an idiot for reading this book. You should just read the other one.
Yeah, but I tried to read the other one and I go, I don't know what the fuck any of this means.
Well, that's okay. It's still better than Derrida. Like, I'll never forget whenever I was getting into like reading philosophy and stuff like that, it was around the time that ContraPoints was taking off as a YouTube channel. And in one of her videos, she was like, yeah, or great thinkers like so-and-so and the other one and Derrida. Except I didn't read Derrida because fuck you, Derrida. If you wanted me to read you, you should have been easier to read.
Yeah, Kant in the 19th century was the first class I failed, or 18th, whatever it was. I failed it in college.
It was just write down that it was just a bunch of flops and macaronis wired out of their head to coffee houses talking about killing the king. Like,
pretty much.
That class just sounds like a constant frustration.
Yeah. I was like, did I pass? And he goes, you can't. So.
All right, guys. Well, look, I gotta go.
All right.
I got shit I gotta do at the house. But anyway. All right.
Bye, guys. Until next time.
Good night, everyone.
Don't read Derrida. It's boring. Bye.
You can't.